People will put ideas in my head to start with. My friend has recently sent a pattern for a sloth. Why not try and make a sloth?
I can make my canvas very playful.
I still get that childlike delight. You've created something from nowhere. That ignition point is quite magical.
I just can't stop. Just keep saying, oh, I've got to make one of those. I want to try that out.
Nobody's journey's been easy. We've all had our problems to deal with. You know, I've had my share. I was down in the dumps about everything, and I was drinking way too much, and I was hungover every morning. I started to find something else to do. Instead of a bottle of wine, I buy a skein of wool. I sit here for 2 or 3 hours, and at the end of that period of time, as well as relaxing, I've created something. The idea of a men's knitting group, it's a little bit unique in a smaller town. Once a month on a Sunday, craftsmoons. We had one yesterday up at a coffee shop, and it was just such a nice way to spend 2 hours. We could sit there, the 4 of us, and not necessarily have to say much. People get caught up in your own little world, in your own little space, and everything else sort of gets forgotten about for a little while. If we can start to teach boys that it's okay to share your feelings and somehow learn to express your creativity, we'll end up with better men. Overcoming a barrier of letting everyone know that I quite like knitting, that's helped me better express, this is what I really am. I'm a better man. I never even sort of started to feel like a man until only a few years ago. I feel like I've only just started growing up.
I can't do the same job every day. It's soul destroying. I need to just play and explore. It was kind of like a revelation, I suppose, just that ability to manipulate fabric. I was interested when I first started on how do I actually make a pair of pants? I wanted to work out how the puzzle went together. I didn't have any skills at all. I couldn't, sew 2 pieces of fabric together. I kind of learnt that, but I wanted to break all the rules. I wanted to colour and pattern my own fabric. I don't buy any new fabric. It's about the sustainability of the process. There's a lot of reclaiming and upcycling of fabric, or harvesting fabric from damaged garments I already have. I experiment, I play with it. The joy that I get from revealing a piece of dyed cloth from a dye pot where I've used dried native plant matter to create a colour on wool. I don't know what's going to be in here. All trees are different, all barks are different. Using a copper pot or an aluminium pot will give you a happier or a sadder shade. I think it's just a natural kind of next step to then turn them into something functional. That's also another delight, to see someone actually wearing a coat that I've created that basically looks like a forest floor. If I didn't do it, where would those thoughts and those feelings go? I don't know that I would have a way to articulate them. I just needed the freedom, I suppose, of those processes. Because I love it, and I'm really present when I make it, and I'm really satisfied. It's just making sense of the world, showing who you are.
I didn't really at the time understand what looking after myself meant. You can't care for somebody if you're absolutely rattled yourself. It was my sanity to just shut myself away from the issues that were happening. You have to set aside a little bit of time each day for yourself. I think I just came across a knitting pattern. I thought, I want to make that. Gives me just a place to live in my own head and in my own ability. My greatest fear is if I can't do it, because I am getting quite arthritic. I've spoken to my doctor. He says, don't stop. Not only do I knit, I create yarn to sell. I dye it, I spin it. There's over 600 different ways you can manipulate yarn and needles. But if you're doing something fairly intricate, there's a lot of counting as you go. So many knits, so many purls, a slip and a knit two together. And it's very focused. And then there's other things that you can just do a plain old stocking stitch. You can read a book at the same time. I've had this idea in the back of my mind to do a book, a pattern book. Some patterns are lovely to knit because they just flow, they just have a lovely rhythm. When you shift your mind from something that's bothering you and focus on something, well, tactile in my case, that shift will take you into just another state of mind. It can prepare you to deal with it. It gives me something to hang on to. It's been like a travelling companion through life. I'll never run out of something to do.
I create because I can use this way to find like-minded people. I love building relationships and making connections with people. That makes me feel alive. My canvas is clay. You can use your hands to form every shape that you want to form. Not only a square, not only flat surface, you can make it more, 3D. I run workshops. Other people will be the maker. I've got lots of makers from different backgrounds, aged from 9 to 60. Everyone can be an artist. When I'm creating, I feel at the moment, it's more like a meditation process. I can live something that can last longer than my thoughts. Clay, just a piece of clay, it can be crafted to something so fantastic. Actually, I think I'm not that talented. I'm doing something I want to do. I just get lots of encouragement from my family and friends. Art is consistent. Sometimes I pause the process, but it's always there. Try something different and then create. So it's about enjoying your life.